Welcome back. It's time for another book talk video. It's a Tuber Tuesday, and today I have an open challenge for you to talk about your top 10 lowest rated books that you've read according to Goodreads or whatever service that you use, such as perhaps Storygraph, to track your reading. I previously did a top 10 best average rated books that I've read according to Goodreads, and I saw that Average Joe's Library had flipped it around and done the bottom 10, and I think that that's hilarious. I'll do it too, though this video is full of disappointment. Just can't believe that other people rate some of these books so low. So you'll see as I go through it. I like top 10 style videos. I'll give it to you to where we're counting down to where the last one that I talk about will be the one with the lowest average rating. To find out this kind of information yourself, you can easily go onto your Goodreads account, go to your My Books, and then there's an average rating option. You can actually click on that column up at the top with the label, and it'll probably put them in order of the best average rating. You click on it again, it'll flip it to the lowest average rating. Get ready to be disappointed like I am. Alright, my top 10 lowest average rating books from what I've read on Goodreads. I'll go ahead and give it a disclaimer. One of these, the number seems to be out of order. You know, that happens some on these lists. There's some secret variable that Goodreads is putting in here in addition to the numbers. I'm not sure what it is, but I'm going to use the list the way that it generated. The other disclaimer, there is a book that I read that actually came in as my lowest ranked for average rating, but I'm not going to include it because it was a book that I read for an independently published author, which was sent to me by the author, asked me to read it, and then the author decided not to end up debuting the novel with a real release, so the reviews are really just from people who had the preview copy of the book, and we never actually got the finished version of the book released. I'm gonna ignore that one. But anyway, number 10 on my list, sadly, it's Support Your Local Gunfighter, the novel that goes along with the film. Sadly, when you look on Goodreads, it only has one rating, and that's from me. Number 10 on my list is a rating of 3.0 exactly. Though I do want to thank Gaia Athena, one of the awesome YouTubers, booktubers out there, who has access on Goodreads to add books, who got the book added into the Goodreads database for me so that I could mark it as read. Coming in at number 9 with a number that I don't understand down here on the bottom of my list is a 4.0. I gave it 3 stars. Somehow it has an average rating of 4, but it's down here in the list with the 3.0. It's Sigurd the Barbarian, The Crimson Sea. It's Sigurd, book number 3. These were part of a series that Gary Gygax wrote along with another author, and they were like choose your own adventure. And then number 8 on my list, I'm devastated here. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the graphic novel, collected book volume 7. I read a lot of comic books when I was growing up. I love the Ninja Turtles. They did a lot more in the comic books than they did with the cartoon series of them being interdimensional travelers. So sad to see that at just 3 stars. Coming in at number 7 on my list is Londo Calrissian and the Mind Harp of Sharu. It's a Star Wars novel from long ago by L. Neil Smith, and it only has an average 3-star rating. I gave it 4 stars. I read this when I was growing up, either middle school or early high school. It was about Londo before the events of the movies. He got his own adventures with the Millennium Falcon before the Han Solo adventures, which were also set before the films. Just so sad that other people rate it so low. Coming in at number 6 on my list with a rating of just 2.97 average rating, I gave it a 3.0. I think this one deserves this spot. The book Pygmy by Chuck Palahniuk. You have no idea how frustrated I was trying to read this book. As someone who loved Fight Club and had read a lot of Chuck Palahniuk's books at that point, I was just so frustrated trying to deal with the nonsense that was Pygmy. Coming in at number 6 with a rating of 2.98, which you would think is higher than 2.97, but whatever, is Kothar and the Wizard Slayer by Gardner F. Fox. I love Gardner F. Fox's books. He's got Kothar as well as another great barbarian character you'll see here in just a little bit. I guess since this was book 5 in a series that wasn't as popular as, say, Conan the Barbarian, a lot of people didn't rate it quite as high as I did. I gave it 4 stars, but apparently not everyone likes the book as much as I did. Coming in at number 4 on my list list is 101 Best Jokes. It has an average rating of 2.95. I gave it 3 stars. I find it hilarious that a joke book is rated so low. I guess other people didn't find the jokes so funny. Number 3 on my list is another work by Gardner F. Fox. It's Kyric the Barbarian. Kyric Fights the Demon World, book 2 in the Kyric series. I gave it 3 stars. I enjoyed the Kyric books, like I was saying earlier, and the Kothar books. I just read them as fun pulp fantasy. I don't expect a whole lot out of them. It's sad to me that other people, I guess, have higher expectations and get disappointed with them. At number 2 on this list, with an average rating of just 2.92, sadly we have another Star Wars book, Londo Calrissian and the Star Cave of Thon Baka. This was number 3 in Londo's solo series. I gave it 3 stars, but they were written very similarly to the Han Solo books. And that means we have one more entry left. The lowest average rating of any book that I have read. Having marked it on Goodreads, having remembered it over the years, one of my all-time favorite authors, it's Robert J. Kuntz, with a rating of just 2.81, a book called Dave Arneson's True Genius. I actually gave this 4 stars because I really like RJK, as I call him, Robert J. Kuntz. If you don't know who he is, he was there in the early days of tabletop role-playing gaming with Dungeons & Dragons, back when Dave Arneson and Gary Gygax were actually inventing Dungeons & Dragons, when they were putting all the rules together. Robert J. Kuntz was the storyteller, the dungeon master for Gary Gygax. And I know Gary Gygax is a legend as a dungeon master himself running his games, but Robert J. Kuntz witnessed this birth of the gaming industry, tabletop gaming, role-playing. He was there for so much of it. And in this book, he talks about game design. It is a very difficult read if you're not into that. But it's a very technical book. These are the top 10 lowest average rated books that I have read. So sad. Well, I challenge you to do this same thing. Maybe you'll have fun. Maybe you'll have some emotional moments as I did going through your own list. That's it for today's book talk. Every day is a good day for a book talk. Peace.